Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where voices are louder than ever. Yet somehow, in the midst of all the noise, some of the most important voices remain silent. Silence, my friends, is not always golden. In fact, in many cases, your silence is killing them, killing dreams, opportunities, and the hope of those who desperately need your voice. When you see injustice and you say nothing, that silence stifles hope dark. When someone is crying out for help and you remain quiet, that silence drowns out their chance for rescue. When someone is making destructive choices and you stand by silently, that silence becomes the knife that cuts them deeper. It's time to recognize that our silence has consequences. Your words, your wisdom, your guidance can be the very oxygen someone needs to breathe again, the light they need to see, the strength they need to stand. But when you withhold it, the darkness creeps in. Your silence is killing them. The world doesn't just need people who speak, they need people who speak life. Because words have power. Your words, when spoken with courage, can build, uplift, heal, and inspire. But when withheld, they can destroy more than you imagine. We have a responsibility, a duty to speak life into those around us, to speak truth in love, to speak hope into despair, and to speak up when others cannot find their voice. If you don't, that silence becomes a weapon, cutting down lives that could have been saved. Now is the time to break the silence. Now is the moment to speak the words that could change everything. Because you never know who is on the other side of your silence. Speak up. Someone's life depends on it. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is the absence of action, the absence of intervention when it's needed most. Too often, we underestimate the weight of our silence, believing that by staying quiet, we remain neutral. But neutrality in moments of decision is not neutrality at all, it is a choice. And that choice has consequences. When you see something wrong and choose not to speak, you allow the wrong to continue. Your silence gives permission for the status quo to remain unchallenged. In the face of injustice, oppression, or harm, silence becomes an accomplice. It endorses the very thing you know should not be. Because when truth is not spoken, falsehood thrives. When light is not shown, darkness spreads. Your silence, in essence, becomes part of the problem. But it's not just about external situations, it's about the people around you. There are people in your life who are waiting for your voice, your wisdom, your guidance, but you withhold it. Perhaps out of fear, perhaps because you assume someone else will step in. But in doing so, you fail to recognize the role you were meant to play. Your silence has the power to crush hope, to keep someone trapped in confusion, or to leave them in a place of darkness. You might think that remaining silent avoids conflict, but often it only deepens the wound. Imagine someone who is on the brink of making a life-altering mistake, and you remain silent because you don't want to offend them. What happens when they fall? What happens when the damage is done? Your silence could have been the turning point, the difference between destruction and redemption. Silence has ripple effects. It not only impacts the person directly in front of you, but it sends waves into the broader community. It affects families, societies, and even future generations. What you choose not to address today becomes the burden someone else carries tomorrow. The pain you avoid by staying silent today becomes the legacy of struggle for others. You were given a voice for a reason. You have inside experiences and understanding that are uniquely yours. And when you withhold that from the world, you withhold a part of the solution that only you can provide. The consequences of silence are not just external, they impact your own soul as well. There is a heaviness that comes when you know you should have spoken but didn't. That unspoken truth weighs down your spirit because deep within you understand that your silence cost someone something. It's time to recognize that silence, far from being harmless, can be devastating. Every time you choose not to speak, you make a choice about what kind of world you want to live in, what kind of relationships you want to have, and what kind of future you are building. Your silence has consequences, and those consequences reach further than you can imagine. The question is, what will you do with your voice? Will you use it, or will you let silence continue to destroy the potential for change? Words have the extraordinary ability to create, to build, and to breathe life into situations where there is despair, confusion, or stagnation. From the very beginning, words have been the tools that shape the world around us, setting things in motion, defining reality, and directing the course of events. Your words are not merely sounds or letters, they carry the power to transform. When you speak, you release something into the atmosphere that has the potential to change everything. Words can lift someone from the depths of depression, restore hope to a weary heart, or awaken dreams that have long been forgotten. They can reframe a negative situation, reminding someone of possibilities when all they see are problems. One timely word of encouragement spoken with sincerity can do more than any action, because words go deep, touching not just the mind but the spirit. There are times when people around you are silently crying out, carrying burdens they cannot express, walking through battles that you cannot see. In those moments, your words are more than just conversation, they become life support. They sustain, they strengthen, and they nurture something in the person that is fragile and easily broken. A kind word, a word of truth, or even a challenge spoken in love can become the spark that reignites the fire within them. You may never fully understand the impact of your words. To you, it may seem like a simple statement, a passing comment, but to someone else, it might be the very thing they needed to hear to keep going. Words have a way of reaching places that actions sometimes cannot. They penetrate the barriers of fear, uncertainty, and insecurity, providing clarity in the midst of confusion. Consider the weight of words when they are absent. In times of doubt or hardship, when no words of encouragement or guidance are given, what happens? People begin to wither. They lose focus, they lose direction, and they begin to question their worth. Without words to remind them of their purpose, their value, and their potential, they can easily spiral into despair. It's not always the lack of opportunity or resources that cripples people, it's the lack of life-giving words. There is a reason why words of affirmation, encouragement, and truth are so powerful. They tap into the very core of who we are as human beings who need connection, affirmation, and guidance. When you speak life into someone, you are not just filling the air with sound, you are planting seeds that will grow into confidence, purpose, and vision. You are feeding their soul with what it needs to thrive. But words can also work in reverse. Just as they can give life, they can also tear it down. Words of negativity, criticism, or harsh judgment can crush a person's spirit. It is not enough to speak, you must be intentional about what you speak. Every word carries weight, and the impact of your words can last far longer than you realize. A word spoken in haste or anger can linger in someone's mind for years, shaping their perception of themselves and the world. This is why it is so crucial to speak with purpose. Your words should be tools of construction, not destruction. They should build up, not tear down. They should guide, not confuse. Every word you speak is an opportunity to give life, to create an environment where people feel valued, seen, and capable of achieving their potential. Remember, words have the power to bring dead things back to life. They can revive broken relationships, heal old wounds, and restore lost hope. The right words at the right time can unlock doors of opportunity, motivate someone to pursue their dreams, or provide the wisdom they need to make the right decision. The impact of life-giving words is immeasurable. So speak with intention. Speak words that build, encourage, and inspire. Speak words that bring clarity where there is confusion and light where there is darkness. Speak words that breathe life into every person and situation you encounter. Courage is not merely the absence of fear, it is the resolve to act in spite of it. There are moments in life when the easiest thing to do is remain silent. Fear tells you to hold back, to avoid conflict, to stay comfortable. But deep down, there is a knowing, a sense that you are called to speak, to say what must be said, even when it is difficult, even when it may cost you something. Courage to speak is not about having no fear. It is about choosing to rise above that fear and use your voice for something greater. In life, you will face situations where speaking up feels like stepping into a storm. You might fear the reactions of others, fear rejection, or even fear the consequences that may come with your words. But silence in those moments is a greater risk. When you choose not to speak, you allow situations to remain unchanged, and worse, you allow the forces of injustice, deception, and negativity to grow unchecked. Your voice has power, and withholding it means surrendering that power to forces that do not have the best interests of those around you at heart. Courage to speak comes from a place of conviction. It is born out of an understanding that your voice carries something valuable, truth, wisdom, or encouragement that must be shared. It is the realization that while silence might feel safer, it is a temporary refuge. Eventually, the consequences of unspoken truth will surface, and by then it may be too late. The damage done by silence can be far greater than any discomfort caused by speaking the truth. There are people who need to hear what you have to say. They may not realize it, and you may not see it, but your words hold the key to unlocking something in them. It could be clarity in a situation where they feel lost, hope where they feel hopeless, or even a challenge where they have grown complacent. Yet without the courage to speak, those opportunities remain buried, and the potential for transformation is never realized. Fear of speaking often comes from worrying about how others will respond. Will they accept what you have to say? Will they reject it? But the courage to speak does not come from focusing on the reactions of others. It comes from a deeper place of knowing that your words are necessary. You may not control how people receive your words, but you control the intention and the truth behind them. The courage to speak is grounded in integrity. It is about speaking not to win approval, but to align with what is right, true, and just. Even when your voice shakes, even when you feel uncertain, courage is found in taking the step forward anyway. The act of speaking in itself can break through fear. Once the words are spoken, you realize that the fear was smaller than it seemed. Courage is built in those moments, and it grows stronger each time you choose to speak despite the internal resistance. There is a time for everything, and there are moments when silence is appropriate. But discernment is needed to know when silence becomes a hindrance, a tool of avoidance rather than wisdom. When you know in your heart that you are called to speak but hesitate, the voice of courage will remind you that you are not just speaking for yourself. You are speaking for the people who cannot, for those who need your words to move forward, and for the sake of truth that must not be buried. Courage to speak is a gift to others and a responsibility to yourself. It challenges you to rise above personal fear and discomfort, reminding you that your voice is a vessel of change. It demands that you put aside concerns about popularity or acceptance and focus on the impact of your words. When spoken with courage, your words have the power to shift atmospheres, break chains, and plant seeds of transformation that can grow into something far greater than you imagined. In the end, courage is not about the absence of fear, but the refusal to let fear silence you. It is the determination to speak up when it matters most, knowing that your words, infused with truth and conviction, have the ability to change lives, including your own. Dreams are fragile things. They often begin as small sparks of inspiration, whispers in the heart, visions of what could be. But like any seed, dreams need the right conditions to grow. They need encouragement, direction, and the life-giving power of words spoken at the right time. Yet all too often, silence surrounds these dreams, silence from those who could offer wisdom, guidance, or simple affirmation. And in that silence, dreams begin to wither. When someone shares a dream with you, they are offering you a piece of their soul. It is an expression of hope, of potential, of the future they long to create. But dreams are vulnerable, especially in their early stages. They are easily discouraged, easily dismissed, and easily abandoned. It takes courage for someone to speak their dreams aloud, but if their words are met with silence, that silence can become a wall, shutting down the very possibility they are striving for. There is a deep responsibility that comes with hearing someone's dream. In those moments, your voice holds the power to nurture that dream or to allow it to fade into the background. Silence, when encouragement is needed, is like withholding water from a plant. Over time, the dream weakens. Doubts creep in. The person begins to question whether the dream was ever possible in the first place. Without support, without words of affirmation, the dream dies slowly, not because it lacked potential, but because it lacked the nourishment of belief. Sometimes silence is mistaken for neutrality. We tell ourselves that saying nothing is better than saying the wrong thing. But silence is not neutral. Silence can communicate indifference, disinterest, or even disbelief. When a person is looking for validation, for confirmation that they are on the right path, silence can be louder than any words of discouragement. It can signal to them that their dream isn't worth pursuing, that their efforts are unnoticed, that what they are striving for doesn't matter. And in that space, dreams begin to unravel. There are countless dreams that have been left to die because someone didn't speak when they had the chance. People full of potential, carrying visions of greatness, have let their dreams slip away because they never heard the words they needed to hear. Sometimes it's a simple affirmation, "I believe in you." Other times, it's the guidance of someone who has walked the path before. Here's how you can make that dream a reality without those words. Dreams remain just ideas, unfulfilled and unrealized. But it's not just about the words we speak to others. The silence we impose on our own dreams is just as dangerous. When you have a dream burning inside you, but you never give it voice, it begins to fade. Keeping a dream silent is like locking it away in a dark room where it is never given the chance to see the light of day. You may tell yourself that you're waiting for the right moment, for the perfect time, but in truth, silence suffocates dreams. They need to be spoken, shared, and pursued with boldness. Fear often drives silence. Fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of what others might think. But these fears, when left unchallenged, become the very thing that kills dreams. Silence allows fear to take root and grow, wrapping itself around the dream until it can no longer breathe. The longer you remain silent, the more distant your dream becomes, until one day it feels like a memory of something that was never really possible. Dreams are meant to be spoken into existence. They thrive on words of belief, on declarations of purpose, and on the courage to say, "I will make this happen." When you speak your dream, you give it life. You bring it from the realm of possibility into reality, where it can be nurtured, refined, and brought to fruition. But when you keep silent, when you allow your fears or doubts to silence your dream, you stop its growth before it even begins. Your silence, whether toward others or toward your own dreams, can kill potential that was destined to change the world. It's not enough to quietly hope for the best. You must speak. You must share your vision, your goals, your aspirations, and believe that your words have the power to set things in motion. And just as importantly, you must be a voice for others, recognizing that your words can either breathe life into their dreams or contribute to their demise. Do not let silence be the reason a dream dies. Speak life into your dreams and into the dreams of those around you. Because when dreams die in silence, so does the future that could have been. Truth is one of the most powerful forces in the world. It has the ability to free people from deception, to bring clarity where there is confusion, and to unlock potential that has been buried under layers of doubt and fear. But truth, when spoken without love, can be a weapon that wounds rather than heals. It can be sharp, cutting deep into the hearts of those it touches, leaving scars rather than producing transformation. To speak truth in love is to understand that truth is not only about being right, it is about restoring, building up, and guiding others toward their highest potential. Love, when paired with truth, becomes the bridge that allows the message to reach its destination. Without love, truth can fall flat, rejected, or misunderstood, because it lacks the compassion that makes it receivable. People do not just need to hear what is right, they need to feel that you are for them, that your words are meant to help them grow, not to tear them down. The heart behind the truth you speak is just as important as the truth itself. When you speak truth in love, you are mindful of timing, tone, and intent. You understand that while truth must be spoken, it must also be delivered in a way that the person can receive it. Truth spoken harshly can shut down the very change you hope to inspire. But truth spoken with love opens the heart, allowing the person to reflect, to see themselves clearly, and to embrace the steps they need to take toward growth. Love is what makes truth a gift rather than a judgment. It turns correction into a path forward rather than a reminder of failure. When you speak truth in love, you offer a way out of darkness, a way forward into light. It's not about proving someone wrong or pointing out their flaws. It's about lifting them up to see what they can become. Love frames truth in a way that invites change instead of demanding it. It provides the support and encouragement needed to move forward, not just a critique that points out where someone went wrong. There are moments when truth is difficult to hear. It can challenge a person's perspective, confront their mistakes, or highlight areas of their life that need transformation. In those moments, love becomes the cushion that softens the impact, making it possible for the truth to be accepted rather than rejected. Love reminds the person that you are with them, that you are speaking not to condemn, but to guide them into something better. Without that love, even the most accurate truth can push people away, leaving them defensive, hurt, or even more entrenched in their ways. But love also requires honesty. To speak truth in love does not mean sugarcoating or avoiding difficult conversations. It means having the courage to say what needs to be said, even when it's uncomfortable, but doing so in a way that preserves the dignity and worth of the person you are speaking to. It is not loving to withhold truth when it is needed, nor is it loving to speak truth in a way that shames or belittles. Love finds the balance, offering truth that challenges, but also empowers, truth that corrects, but also uplifts. Speaking truth in love also requires wisdom. It's about knowing when to speak and when to listen. Sometimes love means holding back, allowing a person to process in their own time. Other times, love demands that you speak up. Even when silence feels easier, wisdom helps you discern the right moment, the right words, and the right approach. It's not just about what you say, but how and when you say it. When truth is spoken in love, it creates an atmosphere where growth can flourish. It builds trust because people know that your words are rooted in a genuine desire for their well-being. They understand that even when you point out something difficult, it is because you see their potential and you want to help them reach it. Speaking truth in love fosters an environment where people feel safe to change, to confront their own weaknesses, and to pursue their best selves. In relationships, whether personal or professional, speaking truth in love is essential for deep, lasting connections. It allows for transparency, vulnerability, and authenticity. People need to know that they can trust you to tell them the truth, but they also need to know that you care. Love is what builds that trust. It's what makes your truth worth listening to. At its core, speaking truth in love is about balancing honesty with compassion, correction with kindness, and challenge with encouragement. It's about seeing the best in people and speaking to that, even when addressing their flaws. It's about being committed to their growth, not just to your own opinions or perspective. Ultimately, truth without love can destroy, but truth with love transforms. It helps people see not just where they are, but where they can go. It doesn't leave them in their mistakes, but offers a path forward. To speak truth in love is to become a catalyst for change, someone who not only reveals what is real, but also helps others step into what is possible. Responsibility to others is a fundamental aspect of our existence, woven into the very fabric of our relationships and interactions. Every individual carries within them a unique blend of talents, experiences, and insights that are not merely for personal benefit, but are intended to uplift, inspire, and serve those around them. When we embrace this responsibility, we step into a role that goes beyond our immediate desires and ambitions. We become agents of change, conduits of hope, and pillars of support for others. From the moment we are born, we are interconnected with a web of relationships that shape our lives. Our families, friends, colleagues, and communities all play a role in our development. Each person we encounter has their own dreams, struggles, and potential waiting to be realized. Acknowledging our responsibility to others means recognizing that we are part of a larger narrative, a story that is influenced by our actions, words, and attitudes. In this narrative, our influence can be profound. One of the most powerful ways we can exercise our responsibility to others is through encouragement. Everyone faces challenges, moments of doubt, and periods of despair. In these times, a simple word of encouragement can be transformative. It is a reminder that they are not alone, that their dreams are valid, and that they possess the strength to overcome their obstacles. By speaking life into others, we help them see possibilities where they might only see barriers. Our words can lift them from the depths of discouragement and propel them toward their goals. But responsibility to others extends beyond mere words. It encompasses our actions and decisions. We have a duty to consider how our choices impact those around us. This includes being mindful of the environment we create in our homes, workplaces, and communities. Are we fostering an atmosphere of support and collaboration, or are we contributing to division and negativity? Our behavior sets the tone for those around us. When we act with integrity, empathy, and kindness, we create a ripple effect that encourages others to do the same. In a world that often prioritizes individualism and self-interest, taking responsibility for others can feel like a burden. However, it is in fact a privilege. When we choose to support others, we not only enrich their lives but also enhance our own. It opens up avenues for connection, growth, and shared experiences. We begin to understand that our true fulfillment is often found in the contributions we make to the lives of others. Moreover, we must recognize that responsibility to others includes being willing to engage in difficult conversations. Sometimes love requires us to speak uncomfortable truths. It's not always easy to confront someone when their actions are leading them down a harmful path, but it is essential for their growth and well-being. Speaking the truth in a spirit of love and compassion can guide someone back toward their purpose and potential. It reflects a commitment to their journey and acknowledges that we care enough to challenge them when necessary. Responsibility also means being present. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to become absorbed in our own lives and forget the importance of simply being there for others. Listening attentively, offering a shoulder to cry on, or celebrating someone's victories can make a world of difference. Our presence conveys that we value the other person, that their experiences matter, and that we are invested in their journey. Furthermore, taking responsibility for others means actively seeking ways to serve. Service is a tangible expression of our commitment to the well-being of those around us. It can take many forms, whether volunteering our time, sharing our resources, or offering our skills to help someone in need. When we serve, we acknowledge the interconnectedness of humanity and understand that we rise by lifting others. Service creates bonds of trust and respect, reinforcing our roles as stewards of one another's lives. As we embrace our responsibility to others, we must also recognize the importance of nurturing ourselves. We cannot pour from an empty cup. Self-care is crucial for sustaining our ability to support others effectively. By prioritizing our own well-being, we equip ourselves to serve from a place of abundance rather than depletion. This balance allows us to show up fully for others without losing sight of our own needs. Ultimately, responsibility to others is about creating a legacy of compassion and integrity. It is a call to action to recognize that our lives are not solely our own. The choices we make, the love we share, and the support we offer contribute to a greater narrative of humanity. We have the power to inspire, to heal, and to uplift, and with that power comes a profound responsibility. In a world that can often feel divided and disconnected, our commitment to one another can be a beacon of hope. By embracing our responsibility to others, we participate in a cycle of giving and receiving, of supporting and being supported. This cycle creates a rich tapestry of relationships woven together by shared experiences, empathy, and a collective commitment to each other's well-being. Each act of kindness, each word of encouragement, and each moment of presence adds a thread to this tapestry, creating a vibrant community where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. In the end, understanding and acting upon our responsibility to others is not just an obligation, it is a privilege and a pathway to deeper fulfillment. It allows us to step beyond the confines of our individual lives and embrace a shared humanity where our greatest strength lies in our connection to one another. Silence is often regarded as a peaceful retreat, a space for reflection, and a moment of pause. Yet, beneath this tranquil facade lies a powerful and potentially destructive force. When wielded intentionally or carelessly, silence can become a weapon that inflicts harm, stifles progress, and perpetuates injustice. Understanding the duality of silence is essential to recognizing its impact on relationships, communities, and personal growth. In many situations, silence can serve as a form of passive aggression. When we choose to remain silent in the face of conflict or disagreement, we may believe we are avoiding confrontation. However, this silence can carry a heavy weight. It often communicates disapproval, resentment, or indifference without ever expressing these feelings directly. This unspoken tension can fester, creating an atmosphere thick with unaddressed issues. Instead of resolving conflicts, silence can build walls between people, deepening misunderstandings and breeding resentment. Silence can also empower negativity to thrive. When we do not speak up against injustice or wrongdoing, we inadvertently allow it to continue unchecked. Whether in personal relationships, workplaces, or society at large, silence in the face of wrongdoing sends a message that the behavior is acceptable. It can silence the voices of the oppressed, emboldening those who perpetrate harm or injustice. By remaining silent, we allow fear, discrimination, and oppression to perpetuate, creating a culture where negative behaviors go unchallenged. In this way, silence becomes a weapon of complicity. We may think we are preserving peace, but in reality, we are choosing to accept the status quo, allowing harmful patterns to persist. Every time we turn a blind eye or remain mute in the face of wrongdoing, we contribute to an environment where such actions become normalized. The impact of this silence can be far-reaching, affecting not only those directly involved, but also creating a culture of fear and silence that spreads like a contagion. Furthermore, silence can be an internal weapon as well. When we fail to articulate our thoughts, feelings, or needs, we often suffer in silence. This self-imposed silence can stem from fear of judgment, past traumas, or a lack of self-worth. When we do not express our true selves, we deny ourselves the opportunity for connection, understanding, and healing. Internal silence breeds isolation and can lead to anxiety, depression, and a host of emotional struggles. The longer we remain silent about our own experiences and feelings, the more powerful the weapon becomes, turning inward and attacking our self-esteem, confidence, and sense of belonging. The power of silence is not only negative, it can also be a tool for contemplation and discernment. However, the line between constructive silence and destructive silence can be thin. When used positively, silence provides a moment for reflection, allowing us to gather our thoughts, understand our emotions, and approach situations with clarity. It can be a space for healing, a chance to step back and gain perspective. But when we confuse this constructive silence with avoidance, we risk allowing unresolved issues to fester, ultimately leading to more significant problems. To counteract the potential destructiveness of silence, we must cultivate the courage to speak up. Speaking truthfully and openly is essential in fostering healthy relationships and communities. When we choose to voice our thoughts, feelings, and concerns, we create an opportunity for dialogue, understanding, and growth. This act of speaking can disarm the weapon of silence, transforming it into a tool for connection and empowerment. Addressing issues directly, rather than allowing them to simmer in silence, can lead to resolution and healing. Honest conversations pave the way for trust and transparency. They allow us to confront misunderstandings, articulate our needs, and hold others accountable. This, in turn, fosters an environment where people feel safe to express themselves, to share their experiences, and to seek support. In the realm of leadership, the responsibility to break the silence is paramount. Leaders who remain silent in the face of challenges, whether in a team setting or within a larger community, risk creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and fear. By failing to address issues directly, they not only undermine their authority but also fail to inspire those around them. Courageous leaders recognize that silence can be a powerful weapon wielded against progress and take it upon themselves to foster open communication, encourage feedback, and confront issues head-on. Moreover, the act of speaking up is a powerful declaration of self-worth. When we refuse to allow silence to dominate our interactions, we affirm that our voices matter. We acknowledge that our experiences are valid and deserve to be heard. This empowerment is not only crucial for our own growth, but also inspires those around us to find their voices and share their truths. In breaking the silence, we encourage a culture of authenticity, where individuals feel valued and supported. Ultimately, the impact of silence, whether wielded as a weapon or embraced as a moment of contemplation, depends on our choices. We hold the power to determine how silence influences our lives and the lives of those around us. By consciously choosing to speak truthfully, to address issues openly, and to engage in meaningful conversations, we dismantle the destructive potential of silence. In doing so, we pave the way for deeper connections, greater understanding, and a more just and compassionate world. Silence, then, is not inherently negative or positive. It is our intent and actions that define its role in our lives. We must be vigilant in recognizing when silence serves to empower and when it serves to isolate. By fostering a culture of openness and honesty, we can transform silence from a weapon of harm into a tool for healing, connection, and growth. In doing so, we embrace the profound responsibility we have to ourselves and to one another, ensuring that our words and our silences serve to uplift rather than destroy. Hope is one of the most powerful forces that can reside in a human heart. It is the invisible thread that pulls us through dark times, the whisper that says tomorrow holds a promise greater than today's struggles. Hope is what allows us to dream in the midst of adversity, to believe in possibilities when the world around us offers none. But hope often needs a voice, someone who dares to speak it into the lives of others, especially when they cannot find it within themselves. To be the voice of hope is a calling that carries great responsibility. For in doing so, you offer people not just words, but a lifeline. There are moments in life when everything seems bleak, when dreams appear shattered and the future feels uncertain. In these moments, silence can be devastating. When people are overwhelmed by hardship or weighed down by their own failures, it is easy for them to lose sight of hope. They may begin to feel that there is no way out, no reason to keep trying, no path forward. But when someone steps into their lives with words of hope, it can transform their entire perspective. To be the voice of hope means to remind people of the potential that still exists, even in the face of overwhelming challenges. It is not about ignoring reality or sugarcoating the truth. Rather, it is about seeing beyond the present difficulties and helping others do the same. Hope sees the bigger picture, the opportunities hidden within the obstacles, the growth that can emerge from struggle. When you speak hope into someone's life, you are helping them to see beyond their current circumstances and grasp hold of the possibilities that still await them. Being the voice of hope requires empathy and understanding. It is not enough to simply offer empty platitudes or motivational slogans. Hope is most powerful when it is rooted in truth about the potential for change, about the resilience within a person, about the future that can be created with faith and perseverance. To offer hope, you must first understand the depth of someone's pain or difficulty. You must be willing to step into their world, to feel their struggle, and to walk with them through it. When people hear words of hope spoken sincerely and with conviction, something shifts within them. Hope is contagious. It ignites a spark in the soul, a small flame that can grow into a roaring fire. This is why your voice matters so much. There are people who may not believe in themselves, people who have been battered by life's storms and have begun to doubt whether they will ever see calm waters again. When you speak hope, you become a beacon in the darkness, showing them the way forward, even when they cannot yet see it for themselves. But hope is not just about words, it is about action. To be the voice of hope is to live in a way that reflects the belief that better days are possible. Your actions, your choices, and your resilience in the face of your own challenges can inspire others to keep going. People are often looking for examples of hope in the real world, living proof that overcoming is possible. that perseverance has its rewards. When you model hope in your own life, you give others a reason to believe that they too can overcome. The voice of hope does not just speak to individuals, it speaks to communities and societies. In a world filled with uncertainty, division, and despair, the need for hope is greater than ever. There are entire communities that have been marginalized, entire nations that have been torn apart by conflict or poverty. These collective struggles can cause people to lose faith in progress, in justice, or in humanity itself. But hope is a force that can break through even the most entrenched hopelessness. It can inspire movements, drive social change, and bring healing to fractured societies. To be a voice of hope in these larger contexts is to remind people that transformation is always possible, that even the most broken systems can be mended, and that the future is not set in stone. Yet hope also requires patience. When you are the voice of hope, you must understand that change does not always happen immediately. Sometimes the seeds of hope that you plant will take time to grow. You may not always see the results of your words or actions right away, but that does not mean your efforts are in vain. Hope works beneath the surface, often slowly but steadily, as people begin to internalize the belief that their situation can improve, that they are not alone, and that there is a reason to keep moving forward. Your words may be the catalyst that someone needs, even if the full impact is only felt much later. Being the voice of hope also demands courage. There will be times when the situation seems so dire, so overwhelming that speaking hope may feel like an impossible task. There may be opposition, cynicism, or doubt. But hope thrives in the face of adversity. It is precisely in the darkest moments that the voice of hope is needed most. You may not have all the answers, but your willingness to believe in a brighter future, to encourage others when they are ready to give up, is a powerful force for good. In all of this, the voice of hope is not about providing guarantees. It is about offering possibility. It is about showing people that no matter how difficult their current circumstances, there is always another chapter, always another way forward. Hope does not promise that the road will be easy or that challenges will disappear. What it does offer is the belief that something good can still come from even the hardest of journeys, and that the story is not over. To be the voice of hope is to take on a sacred role in the lives of others. You are the reminder that the sun will rise again, that there is strength in every individual waiting to be awakened, and that no situation is beyond redemption. Your voice can turn despair into determination, fear into faith, and resignation into resolve. And in doing so, you not only lift others, but also contribute to a world where hope continues to shine, even in the most unexpected places.